Hello everyone, it is your favorite Desi in Taiwan back with a new video. And it is a very proud day to be an Indian because India has just won the Cricket World Cup. And to celebrate them, I'm going to be making them a feast, Indian cuisine. Now, since many foreigners, including Taiwanese, do not know much about Indian cuisine, I will be making three dishes that many non-Indians at least know about because 9 times out of 10, these non-Indians have eaten this in an Indian restaurant before. And these three things include butter chicken, garlic naan, and mango lassi. And so let's start. But before I do, I just wanted to let you know that there's a subscribe button underneath my video that you can press on to see more of my videos. But anyways, let's begin. Okay, so let's now start with our garlic naan. We're actually going to be making the dough first because the day later we'll be actually preparing the naan. So let's start with some 3-4 cups of atta or wheat flour. It doesn't matter what flour you use, and you can change the quantity depending on your liking. And then we also have some fancy pink Himalayan salt, but it doesn't matter what salt you use, and a little bit of oil. And now we'll add some water. It does not matter how much water you added first because we're going to keep mixing and adding more water as we go on. So let's start mixing, and then once you feel that the water has been taken out, you just add a bit more. And if you feel that there's like too much water, which I made that mistake, then you can just add a bit of flour. At first, it might seem a bit messy, but then eventually you'll see it will start to become like a nice fluffy ball of dough, and it will be all clean again. Okay, now after like making the dough, I'll just put it in the fridge, and then tomorrow we'll start making our meal. Okay, so now tomorrow has arrived, so now let's start making the star of our show, which is butter chicken. Now, obviously, in butter chicken, you need chicken. So let's take out a few chicken breasts and then wash them, and then we'll cut them into like bite-sized cubes. It doesn't really matter how roughly you chop these chickens up, it's still going to be edible at the end of the day. So let's put it aside on a plate, and then now we're going to apply some marinade, which will make the chicken more juicy. So we'll just add a bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt, and some vinegar. And then now we can leave that aside, and then we can continue the rest of this dish. Okay, now on to the gravy. As you can see here, there are a bunch of spices we're going to be using. Each of them has a unique addition to the dish. But for the sake of convenience, I'll just be putting them all up on the screen. And now we can head on to chopping. We're just gonna start chopping of one onion. You don't need to do it like too smoothly. You don't need to chop like Gordon Ramsay. Just like these big slices. And then we'll also need some tomato, which is a very important part of the butter chicken because that's where most of the taste is coming from. So just like the onions, just chop them up very roughly. And then now we can also add a bit of ginger. Just take some scissors and then just snip it up like that. And then we're good. After that, let's turn on the gas now at around medium heat, and then on our pan we add some oil. And then we'll take our first set of spices and we'll just roast them around in the oil a bit. Now we can add whatever we have chopped up previously, and we can just toss it around in the pan for a minute. Now, let's add a bit more spices. So I got some turmeric here for color, and I got some Kashmiri chili powder also for color, and some salt also. And we can just toss that around for a little bit. Next, we add this bowl of like soaked chilies and cashew, the secret ingredient which will make this dish much more creamier. So let's add that in and then stir it around for a bit. And then we'll just cover this pan just to let it cook for a bit more. Okay, so now after a few minutes, our vegetables are getting softer. So now we can keep like mixing it, stirring it, or you can also keep it covered for some more time. But after a few minutes, after you feel that the vegetables have gotten like very soft already, now that's the time you can turn off the heat and then pour all of the vegetables into a blender. And then later we're going to start blending it. That is why we really didn't need to like chop up our vegetables so finely because it's anyway going to get blended. So now let's turn on the blender and start mixing. So whoops, sorry about that. I guess even the best chefs can make mistakes sometimes. But anyways, let's try to blend it a bit more softly than I did. And then after the vegetables have become a bit more smoother, you can take it out and then strain as much liquid as you possibly can because we want our butter chicken to be like very smooth and creamy. So after a lot of straining, you can get as much liquid as you possibly can. Now we have our gravy for our butter chicken. Now, for the final step, we're going to be putting everything together. So let's start with a pot on medium heat, and we're going to add some oil and the two most important parts of this dish, which is butter and chicken, which is from the marinade earlier. So now we need to let the butter and the chicken really know each other. You can keep stirring the chicken, keep putting the butter all over the chicken, and then we need to get the chicken to brown. And once you feel that the time is right, now you can finally add our gravy. Let the gravy join the party as well. So now you keep stirring that, keep tossing and turning the chicken inside our sauce that we made. And then we can also add a little bit of water for consistency. And then in addition, this is not really necessary, but you can add some Kashmiri chili powder just for the color because it's not really that spicy. Now, finally, we're going to be adding some more butter and cream also, which is very important. This will make the dish very fatty and heavy, but very delicious and rich. So we keep stirring that. And now we can also add a little bit of coriander at the end for a bit more of a fresh taste. And now finally, we have completed our butter chicken. Now, after making such rich butter chicken, we need some carbs to balance the meal. So we're going to be making some garlic naan. And if you've guessed it already, we need some garlic. So we're going to be taking a few cloves and just chopping it up into small pieces. And once you're finished with that, we'll add it into a bowl with some butter, coriander, and nigella seeds. So we're going to be keep mixing that bowl up until it becomes a nice smooth paste. Now we can start to turn our pan on medium heat and then we'll let that heat up for a few minutes. Meanwhile, we can take our dough that we made from yesterday and then just start to work it up a little bit. Get it excited for some action. Then we can take a ball out of that dough and then we can start to flatten with a rolling pin. So basically, what we're doing is we keep rolling the dough on all sides and make it at a uniform thickness so that our naan can become very thin and crispy. So after you feel it has been thin enough, we can start to add it onto our pan. And then what we do is we keep pressing the naan with our spatula and continuously flipping it because we want our naan to be crispy and brown on all sides. But at first it might seem a bit discolored, but trust me, it will get better. So just keep flipping it and then we'll wait until it turns brown. A few minutes later, our color of our naan is starting to look a bit better. So now it is the right time to put on our garlic paste onto the naan, and we have to keep spreading it around all over the bread. And then now we can flip the naan so that the garlic can become imprinted into the bread. And then we can also add our paste onto the other side. And then afterwards, we keep flipping it and keep like implanting the garlic paste into the naan and then eventually the dough will become cooked as well and then we'll have a nice garlic flavor and now we can put it onto our plate and there we have it, our garlic naan is complete. To end things off on a sweet note, we will be making some mango lusty, which is very similar to a milkshake. So to start things off, we will be taking one or two mangoes, depending on the size, and we'll chop them in half. Interestingly, this mango I found is called the Jinhuang mango, which comes from Taiwan, and it only comes in season around June or July. So we're very lucky at this time of the year to get such a juicy mango. Now, after cutting it in half, we will be trying to take out as much of the mango fruit as possible so that we can have a higher quantity of the mango lassi. It's a bit hard because the fruit is stuck to the seed, but try your best. Now, after putting all that mango flesh into a blender, now we're going to be putting some curd. This is what makes mango lassi different from a milkshake because although lassi is not as creamy or rich, it is definitely very refreshing. So let's add a few spoons of curd, and then we will add a bit of milk just for the smoothness. So now after adding like 1 cup of milk, then we'll start to blend it into the blender. After the consistency will get like semi chunky, and then now you can pour it in a glass and you can enjoy. Oh, but don't forget a few sliced almonds. This is just optional, but this is something to make the texture just more varied with more style. Now, finally, after a few hours of work now, I can finally enjoy my food. So now, as we Indians do, we take a piece of the naan, whatever size, and then you take a piece of the chicken here. Then you can dip it in, and now you can enjoy. And we can enjoy now. Jai Hind. Mm. Wow, very nice. Now let's try their mango lassi. This is one of the best things you can eat in the world, Indian food. And after a beautiful victory for India in the World Cup, now we can enjoy our food. Jai Hind. Now, after this point, I didn't really talk much because I just wanted to enjoy my food. But guys, you have to try this. I mean, everything about it is perfect. The butter chicken is rich, creamy, and has a bit of spice to it. And the garlic naan is very similar to what you have in restaurants. And the mango lassi is refreshingly sweet, and it is very satisfying. And it is not too heavy as well. So overall, I would give this meal a 9.9 out of 10. You should try this. And if you guys want to see me make more recipes and eat food, then you should subscribe and tune into my videos. Otherwise, that's all I have, and I will see you guys later. 再见.